Connecting. Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for coming along today to watch our talk on low tox living. Just to introduce myself, my name is Melissa Lowe and I'm a nutrition and health coach from the Thrive Guide. And I've also got with me today lovely Hazel Coalter, who is, hello, a wellness lifestyle mentor. So just briefly to go into what we're going to be doing on these low tox living talks. So basically we're coming from two aspects. The lovely Hazel today is going to be talking about products that you may be using in your home or putting on your body, like skin, hair and so forth, that could be quite heavily laden with toxins, and providing us with some amazing alternatives that we can try out. So it's having that awareness and then bringing in some tips and advice and giving us some suggestions on how to up-health those products in our home and that we're using in our body. And then next week, I am going to be talking about what you may be eating, whether it's food or drink that you are consuming that can be heavily laden again with toxins like our additives, preservatives, all these kind of things that can cause a whole lot of health and wellness issues within your body. And I'll also be providing advice on products that are a healthier alternative or even some products that you can make yourself. So what we're going to be doing is recording this call and recording next week's call and then sending it out to everyone who registered so that you can watch the replay. And if there's any questions, just pop them in the chat and we can look at them at the end. Right, so let's get started. Hazel, can you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Yeah, cool. Thanks so much for having me here today, Melissa. It's really, really cool. I love sharing information and educating people. So it's really neat to be here as part of the Thrive Guide today. So thanks for having me. I'm super passionate and empowered to educate and support others to improve their health and wellness through simple changes in their life. I'm not about a diet or a health plan. That's your area. I'm more about a lifestyle plan to make sure that the life and environment that you're living in is supporting your wellness. So I educate people, especially women, because they are the gatekeepers of our homes, to understand the impact that store-bought products have on our health and wellness. I support people to make a lifestyle change through the introduction of low tox products to improve their health and their home and environment as quickly or slowly as they like. We work together to work out a wellness plan over 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or a week if it's really, really vitally important with regard to their health. So yeah, my favorite people are people like you and I, those amazing women out there doing it all, trying to, keep all the balls in the air and doing that sort of stuff, but just struggling with like that fog of fatigue and going, God, is this all there is? Is this it? Is this what I'm going to live through for the rest of my life? Because you know what, I've been that person, and I now know how to get from underneath that fog of fatigue and live my best life in the world where I'm living. So that's what I love to do. Yeah.
Sounds interesting. So just when you touched on then that you've been that person, I'd just love to hear a little bit about your story, because I definitely find with people that I talk to in all different health and wellness modalities, majority of them have a story that they've gone through with their health and have led them to wanting to share with others and improve others' lives. So yeah, tell us a bit about your journey, Hazel.
Yeah, totally, Melissa. You hit the nail on the head there. I'm exactly the same. There's so much power in people's stories, and everyone that I've met that is now on a passion project similar to us, that have created their own businesses and want to help people, have a story that got them there. You know, they've been through, you know, they've been to the bottom and come back up again, and don't want other people to have to go to the bottom. So I'll share a little bit about my health and wellness journey. So my health journey has been through chronic fatigue and a plethora of illnesses and injuries that led me to understand that I was simply compromising my body's ability to absorb the nutrition out of the food that I was eating. So the vitamins and minerals that I was eating in my food, I just simply wasn't absorbing into my body. My body desperately needed it.
So even if you were eating healthy, like veggies and all that stuff, there was no absorption. That's a really interesting factor, isn't it? About how our organs can be compromised and they're not absorbing the nutrients that we're giving them.
Yeah, exactly. Effectively, the toxins in my environment, found in our cleaning products, laundry liquid, personal care products, makeup, the air fresheners in our home, all of the toxins in those ingredients, they were accumulating inside my body so rapidly and at levels that I simply couldn't manage. So my body was, it was compromised through, you know, like my wellness was compromised, and my ability to be well was compromised by having had 3 children in 22 months, a single pregnancy, and then twins only 22 months later. So my body was really sapped of minerals and vitamins as a result of that. But then it actually just left me totally exposed to then be attacked by all these toxins that were coming in the ingredients. So my tipping point happened so much quicker and earlier than maybe somebody that hadn't had something like a similar journey with babies and all of those sorts of things. So everyone's a snowflake, they say, and everyone has, their bodies are made up differently. So their tipping point in terms of reacting to toxins coming into their body will be different. So as part of my journey, like I've just had all of these different things happening, but effectively my body was throwing up all these red flags in the form of bone fractures, parasites in my gut, rapid weight loss and then weight gain, fatigue, and fatigue. Like, I blamed that simplest thing on just having 3 kids and trying to get to work every day and do those sorts of things. But that was actually my body screaming out for help, and I just wasn't listening. So that was sort of like, you just learn so much, hindsight's 2020.
Yeah. So when you say fatigue, was it that, because some people just think, I'm exhausted, but fatigue's quite a different animal, isn't it? It's almost like you could have a great night's sleep and you still wake up absolutely fatigued.
Yeah. And so I used to say to people, I'm like, oh my God, I have slept for 8 hours solid. My kids haven't woken me up. And I'm getting up and I have barely moved in the bed. And I feel like I've been living in a parallel universe the entire night. Like you wake up and go, man, did I even sleep? Like it's like there's almost like lead weights around your ankles, like you're swimming through soup. There's so many analogies that you can use, but fatigue is just this, it's just this fog and cloud that really is just all encompassing. That is just so hard to get away from and so hard to explain to people. You go, oh yeah, I'm really tired. And they go, oh yeah, me too. And it's just like, no, you don't get it.
It's a different level, isn't it? Yeah. And it's hard when people can't, well, they can kind of see it, they know you look tired, but it's like one of those things almost like, when people are dealing with anxiety or depression, it's hard for people to see and to then sort of understand what you're going through.
It's not like a broken arm or a broken leg that they can physically see that there's something wrong with you. It's something, and it's just inside. And you feel like you have to just keep going because you don't know if there's anything on the other side. You don't know if there's if there's a solution. Like I now know that there is, which is so exciting. But back then I didn't know if there was going to be anything beyond this. And it's just like, man, just having to get through the day was really, really super hard. So when I finally understood that I needed to stop and actually listen to my body, I began to see that all the aches and ailments and sickness and injuries that I've been battling were all actually just symptoms that I was putting band-aids on rather than actually getting to the root cause and understanding what the actual problem was. It's easy to do the blame game in terms of, oh yeah, I've got that bone fracture in my foot because I tripped over or I was walking in shoes that weren't protective enough, or, but actually your bones shouldn't actually break like that. And, you know, you can explain away so many different things. And when you go to see a doctor, you say, I've got a sore foot. So he looks at the sore foot. He doesn't then go, the foot bone's connected to the knee bone, you know, like he doesn't work around and go, well, but how are you feeling otherwise? You know, they just help you fix the problem that you come in and talk about. So, for me, the root cause was my environment, you know. Once I changed that and I was able to mend and repair and climb out from underneath that cloud of fatigue, you know, it had held me captive for years, you know, like I couldn't get through that. Once, you know, that root cause of understanding what was wrong with me, made all the difference in the world, And we'll get into that a little bit later, but, you know, that realization that I'm not alone, you know, that's actually very simple when you take the time to listen to your body and truly look at what's in your environment. It made me feel like there was this, I've got this sense of urgency to share what I've learned with others, you know, like I know what's on the other side now, you know, like it's exciting, you know, it's like there's something way better. There is something way better. You don't have to live like that, you know.
I think that's such a big factor, as well as, like, I remember like way before when we didn't used to eat healthy, you have no idea that you can actually feel better. You think it's just normal being tired. I mean, I didn't have fatigue, you know, tired, and to have, you know, like skin issues or not sleep well, and you sort of just accept it. And it's almost like, you have no idea that there's this whole other side where you can get rid of all that stuff, you know, and feel better. And sometimes that's what's really hard to explain to people. Like, it's like, if you do this, you can be here instead of here, but they don't realize how it's going to feel. Yeah,
that's right. And we live in a society of, you know, like, we just want convenience. And so, you know, you're going, oh yeah, just have, you know, 2-minute noodles. I just need a quick hot something.
Yeah.
But you just don't even realize what ingredients they stick inside those things. Yes. And you kind of go, oh, it's just 2-minute noodles. I'll throw in some veggies with it. It's like, well, kind of half healthy, you know, like, you know, but you just, until you know.
You don't know.
Know, you know,
we used to have 2-minute noodles.
I don't eat them.
We don't now, but we used to. It used to be a high, you know, Friday night dinner, 2-minute noodles, stick some frozen peas in. Oh, good.
I've been there too. I've been there too. You know, but so I just, you know, I'm so grateful that my friends, my good friends, went, hey, I know this, I've got this friend that does low tox stuff. Maybe you need to look at that, you know, when they could just see I wasn't getting anywhere. And, you know, I didn't know what low tox was. I didn't know any of that sort of stuff. But I am so grateful that my friends said, hey, why don't you follow this person on Instagram, or have a look at this blog, or flicked me an email, flicked me an article or something. And I was at that point of just going, actually, you know, I'll read it, you know, like I read it and I'm just like, and it started making those, you know, those subconscious wheels start turning in my head. And then I just started, went, maybe if I change that, or maybe if I do that. And it's not been through, you know, me finding my way out of here has not been as a result of a medical practitioner asking me what's in my home or what I eat. It's been through my own need and desire for something better than what I was being given as a solution, you know, like they, you know, I didn't want any more band-aids, you know, I didn't want that. I wanted to love the world that I live in, you know, I wanted to cut the chaos. I wasn't living my best life, you know, and I wanted to with my kids. So I'm so grateful that my friends suggested stuff and I listened to them, you know, and that's where, you know, I think you and I both have that desire and that need to share what we know, because we want to help others, you know. We don't want other people feeling how we did.
Yeah, exactly. That's so true. And I mean, that is such a basis of why I do what I do, because it was like, wow, I didn't realize I could feel this way, and I can see so many other people struggling, and I want them to realize they can as well. And so when you sort of touched on there, when you sort of said, you know, I don't even know about low tox living, and that's something I'd love you to go in a bit more, because I think there is many people out there, and, you know, I'm putting my hand up as well. I'm here to learn from you too. I've got a rough idea, but I want to get more info as well. Just, you know, we do hear more about, you know, getting the additives and preservatives out of your food, but probably not, you know, I think we're becoming more aware about low tox living, but if you could just talk a bit more about it and the difference when it comes to food and all that kind of side of it.
Yeah, sure. So it's a bit like low tox food, they're one and the same thing, like when I think about looking at food in the basic sense, because I haven't gone down those rabbit holes like you have, and I'm looking forward to learning from you next week about so much more, so I can be so much better informed as well. But when you're looking at when I look at foods that I want to eat, I want to be able to pronounce the name of them pretty much. So that's how our food lifestyle has changed, is we try and eat vegetables and meat, and try and limit the amount of stuff that we're eating that is highly processed. So it's very similar with low tox living. What you want to know is what the ingredients are that are in your products that you're using, whether you're using personal care products like your moisturizer, shampoo, conditioner, body washes, all that stuff, and also your cleaners. Some cleaners you turn over and there's actually not even an ingredient list on the back, which is pretty scary. But if you do turn them over often, they're like words this long that you can't even pronounce. And it's just like, well, if I can't pronounce it, is it even real? So that's sort of where I started with the whole low tox, is that you want to be using things as close to their original, natural state as possible. And when it comes to ingredients and products, so manufacturers have synthetically recreated chemicals to mimic natural things, because then they can brand them and copyright them and do all of those sorts of things and have all those proprietary blends and stuff. That's what they do, and it's easier for them to do that because then they can earn more money and all of those sorts of things. It's a bit hard to copyright or protect a peppermint tree, or a peppermint plant. That's you can't do that. It's a naturally growing thing. So they make all these synthetic chemicals to replicate stuff, but then our body doesn't know what to do with those synthetic chemicals when it enters our body, because it's like a foreign language to them. So
can you, sorry, just to interrupt a bit there, but can you explain sort of what happens? Because just so people have got an understanding that when you put these things on your body, in your hair, on your face, whatever, on your lips, about how it enters our body and what it can sort of do. Well, skin's no, it's great. Our skin's like our biggest organ on our body, and we've got pores on our skin. So anything that we put on our skin, we absorb 60% of that into our bodies directly. So that, within minutes, it's in your bloodstream, and, that's just coursing through our body, sending it, moving all of those ingredients, whatever they happen to be, good or bad, they are moving through our body constantly and going to the cells in our bodies and the organs in our bodies. And, our body then has to get rid of that stuff. And the way that our body gets rid of that stuff is largely the same way as it gets rid of food. So, if we ingest food, it's got to go through our digestive process and be sorted out with our liver and kidneys and everything else, and then excreted. Toxins are exactly the same. So the body has to work out how to get these toxic products out of our body, and it means that it has to go to our liver to get processed. And our liver is we just smash our liver. Like, Jesus. That's like one of the top organs.
I put my hand up. I am a coffee and a chocolate fan. I like my wine, but I can say no to wine. But I'm still partial to a coffee a day, and I can say largely no to chocolate too. But I do like my coffee a day. But you know what? That binds up your. It's almost like your liver has to shut down for an hour or two just to process a cup of coffee. So if it's processing that cup of coffee, it then can't be processing all the nutritions and vitamins that you're then also ingesting that your body actually needs. And then if you layer on top of that all of these toxins that are coming into our body that then need to get out, our poor livers are in overdrive. No wonder there's lots of liver related illnesses that are happening. And then equally, if we're not eating the right kinds of foods that combine to the waste from our liver as it's getting these toxins out, then we can't excrete them either. So they get stuck in our body, which then just accumulates. It's like we're just this chemical cocktail inside our bodies. So it's, like with food, you're ingesting it, so you're very aware that you're eating something. You go to Macca's or something, you're like, oh God, that tastes disgusting. And you're kind of going, was that even food? But with products, in the environment, it's a way more subtle way that we are absorbing it into our bodies that we just don't even realize, that we don't realize that we're absorbing stuff through our skin, and that we're even inhaling it, the aromas that are excreted from our cleaning products, and even just from our shampoo and conditioner. We're inhaling all of that. And that in itself is, it's getting in our bodies, and we have to then get rid of it.
It's a bit of a toxic minefield. So when you're saying that, like, how do we know if something is toxic for our body? Like, what can be going on that we can kind of go, oh, I'm getting that because I've just sniffed my bleach cleaner or whatever.
Exactly.
What can sort of go on?
Like, there are so many chemicals out there, but maybe I just touch on like the top 5, maybe, because it's about reading your labels and turning your bottles over and understanding what's in them. So some of the top 5 that we see, I can go through those and just sort of give you an idea of just how 5 different chemicals can even affect our bodies, because it's, otherwise it's overwhelm, it's like, where do you stop? But, first things first, you want to be able to pronounce the words. So I'll stick with ones that I can actually semi-pronounce in terms of because otherwise it'll just be, I've just looked like I've tripped over the Scrabble board or something. But for me, the biggest one that you need to look out for is fragrance. So if you're looking at ingredients of any product, is the word fragrance. So that can also be perfume, essential oil, fragrance. So if it's all one word and then the commas after the essential oil, fragrance, comma, that it effectively means it's a synthetic. And that the word fragrance is a catch-all. It's a catch-all word that has been created by industry for manufacturers to be able to protect their proprietary blends, so that, we can't copy what each other are doing and all that sort of stuff. But what that also means is that they can hide so many different chemicals under that one word fragrance. And it can be over 1,000 different synthetic chemicals. And I've written some notes down here, some of them can trigger allergies and asthma. Some are linked to cancers and autoimmune and hormone illnesses. Some are harmful to fish and other wildlife. So basically, that fragrance is just it's just the nasty that you just don't want. So effectively, and my biggest problem when I realized that was I was turning over all my bottles, because when I first started, I thought the toxins were just in our cleaners. So that's where my education started. I'm like, oh yeah, because I can smell that bleach, it stinks, that must be toxic. But I didn't realize that it was also in my shampoo and conditioner, and also in my body wash. And when I started turning those bottles over, fragrance is like second, third on the list.
It's in everything.
Super high on the list in terms of quantity of the ingredients. Spoiler alert, like, manufacturers aren't required by law to even list all of the ingredients that they put into a product. So even if they don't list it, it doesn't mean that it's not in there. So, there are some companies out there that are full disclosure, but there's not very many of those.
Wow.
So fragrance is just basically anything with fragrance in it. You basically want to just say, see you later,
Wow. I didn't really think that would be your top one. I just didn't even consider fragrance would be, So you're kind of like saying it could be anything they're kind of calling, or the way it's manufactured. And
because it can just be any one of so many thousand of different synthetic chemicals. A really good on Netflix, actually, a really good documentary to watch to really understand toxins and what they are and stuff is the Stink. I don't know if you've watched that yet, but Stink is really, really awesome. STINK. And it's effectively a documentary about a husband that lost his wife to cancer and had 2 daughters. And it's their whole journey, understanding and unraveling and trying to get information out of manufacturers about what's actually in the products. And it's a real good documentary to watch if you really want to get some more understanding around this stuff.
Sure.
So probably worth having a look at that. So probably second is parabens. Parabens we hear quite a lot about. They're used as a preservative, and they can also be called, I've got these written down too, because otherwise I won't be able to say them, propylparaben, methylparaben, ethylparaben, and butylparaben. all of those just tell me they all sound like petrol to me, like it's those just nasty chemicals we just really don't want around. And these are all found in body creams, lotions, and shampoos, as well as in almost any beauty product that has water added to it. So you kind of just go, man, you think about how many, I'm not a big makeup wearer and things like that, but the regimes that so many women have of cleaning and washing their face and all the makeup they put on, and you just think about the number of products that some people use every day in the morning before they even leave the bathroom, let alone again at night as they remove all of that before they go to sleep. You just makes the mind boggle. So parabens have been found to not only disrupt our hormones but also potentially cause cancer. So it's just all of these things. The thing that keeps coming to me is 20 years ago, 30 years ago, there weren't that many people that got cancer. There weren't that many people that had skin allergies or food allergies. All these things are coming up now. It's like you've got to think about what's changed, and it's how they're making these products. So yeah. Number
and the
3.
Food.
Yeah. Oh yeah, food, like
and the food.
Yeah, exactly.
Dress and all that stuff. Yeah. So number 3.
Number 3 is phthalates. And this ingredient is found in so many products, but it's also one that can actually fall under, it's a fragrance. The chemical is considered a fragrance. So they could even say on a bottle that it's phthalate free, but if they've got fragrance as well, you can't trust them, because they could actually hide phthalates under fragrance.
Right.
So yeah, it's a real tricky one. And lots of people brand their bottles to think that you're buying something that's really good for you, but then they're hiding a whole bunch of stuff under fragrance, which is why that one's the top of my list, because they can hide some of these ones inside that label, that ingredient name as well. So these ones, phthalates, when you smell the smell of vinyl, like a beach ball being blown up, like it's got that funky smell, or like a vinyl shower curtain or something.
Yeah.
That's phthalates. The smell that you're smelling, that is phthalates. So, even it hanging inertly in your shower with the heat, when it heats up, the aroma that's coming off it, it means that phthalate's getting into your body. So, you don't, I don't want to overwhelm people, because, you kind of just, if you actually go, right, I want a low tox home, and you start walking around a home when you've never considered it before, it can be massively overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And you just got to realize you don't, you can start this process and start unwinding this slowly. You don't jump all in and go, oh my God, I'm killing myself. And you can unwind it slowly and just go to the worst offenders first. So, just bear that in mind when I'm talking about this stuff, because it can be quite overwhelming for people. Yeah,
I'm thinking, oh my God, as well. But yeah, I suppose it's looking at, and I do very much, we're going to be talking about very similar things when I talk about food, but yeah, I suppose it would be like, okay, first of all, I'm going to look at what's under my kitchen sink, or, or I might look at my shampoos, or what I'm putting in my face, just taking little chunks out of, instead of going the whole house.
Absolutely. One room at a time.
And then looking at within your family, like what your kids are using, your partner's using, and all those kind of things. And
if say you've got a kid that's got, has got really bad eczema, or has got really bad allergies, then sit down and have a look at what they're, what are they touching and feeling and ingesting and using on their bodies first. Because that, if they've got the massive red flags, then obviously their tipping point is, is higher than, yours is higher than theirs. They've already hit their tipping point if they've got those sorts of flags coming up in their skin. So look to them and start changing things, to help them first, if that's where you need to start. Yeah. So those phthalates have been scientifically shown to disrupt our hormones, and also decrease sperm count. So, you think about, we're talking about women here all the time, but there's so many people out there that are struggling to get pregnant. And it's like, well, actually, is it the things in their environment that are affecting either their hormones, so they're not ovulating properly, or is it the sperm in their husband or partner that is being affected by what they're using? So, you just got to think about these things a little bit more, that, you don't, maybe, if you're struggling with fertility, maybe you need to actually take a look at what's in your home and what you're using, decrease that load on your body so your hormones can rebalance, and then maybe you'll get pregnant, like it's, like relieving those sorts of things as well as, yeah. So, and even food, you go down that route with food too, don't you? So we'll leave the food conversation till next.
Yeah, that's all right. No, they're so, tie in, but you'll quite often have almost like we are, I'm on the food side, you're on that side, and it's great to see, well, actually there needs to be a crossover going on, I'm feeling like I need to look at my home more, and you're thinking you need to look at your food. So it is kind of that marriage up of toxins in general. Okay, so what's our number? Are we at 5?
Number 4.
Yes.
Yep, SLS. So that's sodium lauryl sulfate or sodium laureth sulfate. And this one turns up time and time again because it's the product that makes stuff foam. So toothpastes, dishwash detergents, clothing detergents, shampoo, bubble bath, like all those foaming hand soaps, all that kind of stuff. And we've industry's done a really great job to make us think that stuff has to have bubbles in it for it to work, but the truth is it doesn't actually need to be there, and there's lots of natural plant-based surfactants as well. The bubbles don't last as long, like they, you won't have bubbles, say, in your dishwash liquid in your dish sink. You won't have bubbles right to the end with a natural dish soap like you would with something that's got SLS in it. But it doesn't mean that it's not doing the job still, like it's just, we've been so indoctrinated that, it's got to have bubbles to be working. So, so you just got to sort of understand that one. So this one, SLS, is often actually used as an engine degreaser. So, SLS as as its own product is an engine degreaser. And I'm like going, and we're washing our dishes with that stuff?
Yeah. Or washing our babies in it, when you think of, Johnson's bath products and all that stuff. Yeah, oh my goodness. So SLS is really bad for eye and skin reactions. And it's got a contaminant in it called dioxane, which is classified as a possible human carcinogen. So it's just like you're going, why are companies actually allowed to put this stuff in products? I know.
They're like, just a little bit won't hurt you.
Yeah.
But if it's in 4 or 5 products that you're using a lot and our bodies are struggling to process it, it's building up in our body.
That's the thing. It's the build up over time, and it's it's a slow poison. Is that? Yeah. That's what it is. You don't just suddenly get boom reaction from it. And it's like with the foods as well. It's a slow poison, and eventually these reactions start showing up.
Yeah. Exactly. So sodium lauryl sulfate, SLSs, we definitely want to try and avoid those in our products. And then the 5th one that I'll just cover today is formaldehyde. So it even just sounds nasty.
Yeah, it does.
I think we know formaldehyde is nasty. It just sounds awful. But that one's used in nail polishes. So you smell that one. It's in our nail polishes. It's in shampoos, including baby shampoo, which just scares me so much. And liquid body soaps. So it can cause joint pain, skin allergies, depression, headaches, cancer, ear infections, dizziness, chronic fatigue.
Wow. Yeah.
Like that one's actually, like they've done a lot of scientific stuff on the impact of formaldehyde. So we know that it is a cause of so many different things that we are now having to manage in our own lives. So it's also used to preserve new clothing. So they use a formaldehyde spray on them to, when they package them all up.
Oh, wow.
And everything. So it's really important to wash your new clothes before formaldehyde you're just absorbing into your body.
Wow. Wow, that is quite a list, isn't it? My goodness. And I get what you mean when you get that sense of like, oh my God, there's all this stuff I'm using that I thought, because you've even got to check, even if it says it's natural, you still got to check. I mean, say with the food thing, you still got to be looking at your ingredients. So it's really good that you've given us 5, so it's not like you probably want to tell us about 2,700 of them, but
no, I don't. I think we'd both be weeping by the end, just going, oh my God, is there anything safe in our world?
Oh, yeah. So if people aren't really getting a reaction, you know, what would you kind of be saying to those people who might be thinking, toxins aren't a big deal kind of thing? Like,
yeah, look, the thing I want to say is I've been at the end, you know, I've been down deep and sick as a result of this stuff, and you don't want to be there. You know, just because you think you're fine and, oh, you know, I don't need to worry about it, I'm feeling fine. Have a think about over the last 2 years, say, just how many different little niggles, aches and ailments that might have come up, or a cold that you couldn't shake or something like that. Or, you know, how many times have you actually been susceptible to a cold or flu when it's come through, you know, with the kids bringing it home, or that you get gastro quite regularly or something like that. You know, I haven't been unwell for ages. You know, we just don't, our family is a really well family now, you know, touch wood, exactly. You know, no, my luck, tomorrow I'll be unwell. But, you know, like, when I look back, you know, I had this thread going through all of these different aches and ailments. Once I actually understood the root cause, I'm just like, oh, that's why that was happening, and that's why that happened, and that's why that happened, and that's why I was so tired. You know, like everything started clicking together, and I realized actually, if I switch things out and start detoxing our home and going more low tox, I'm going to feel better, you know. And it's amazing when we came and went fully low tox in a home, was moving into our new home here in New Zealand, and it coincided with me actually having a fractured hip. So every other time I'd had all these aches and ailments, I'd been in a real bad headspace about it. And, you know, I just hated the world and all of those sorts of things. But this time we were diffusing essential oils in our home. We had chemical-free cleaning in our home. And that was it. That was the difference, you know, and I had a really good headspace. And it wasn't until, you know, 5 or 6 weeks in that I realized, I'm like, I haven't been hating on the world. Why is this different to every other time? And it's subtle things like that change, that you realize, actually, I'm nowhere near as crappy as I used to be. And, you know, you don't go low tox and feel like this amazing, like, you know, magic wand just sprinkles over your home and you have this drastic change. It's the same with food, I well imagine.
Yeah.
But it's a progression.
Takes time. Yeah.
You know, it takes
and your body
time.
has to detox
That's
all the
right.
stuff it's holding on to, you know, and your blood and all sorts.
Yeah. So even through that detox process, you might end up feeling really flu-like, or you might have breakout on your face or things like that. And it doesn't mean that you're reacting to something. It's actually your body detoxing.
Yes. Yeah.
Getting rid of all of the crap that's in your body.
Absolutely.
So what I would say to those that, you know, think that they're totally fine, it's like, you know, it's the same as talking to someone that smokes cigarettes and says, well, I haven't got lung cancer, so I'm fine, I can keep smoking. But the thing is, if you stop smoking, you can reverse, just like with smoking, if you stop smoking, you can reverse the impact. You can reverse the damage that you've done to your body. The sooner you stop, the better, though. And it's exactly the same with low tox living and removing those chemicals out of your home. You can make a drastic change to the toxins in your body very rapidly by just starting today, you know, starting to understanding, like you say, start with your kitchen sink or start with your bathroom and start making those conscious choices. You can start making your body better.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I love that saying, and this very ties in with what I do and you do, is that your body will always come and collect its bill. So what you put in it, on it, everything, and it'll eventually say, hey, it's payback time. I'm going to take you down, and hopefully not too horribly, but it will with some kind of illness or disease or whatever, because this stuff, the slow poison has been going on. So just to have that in mind. So I'd love to know if you can just provide us with some alternatives, and also, you know, a bit on the price side, because people are going to be thinking, oh, if you have to change all this stuff, it's going to be so expensive, and hit us with some low tox.
Look, there's some real, you know, real easy ways. You can go DIY, you know, you can just your baking soda and your vinegar and your water, and you can make some ones up there. Just Google cleaners with vinegar or cleaners with baking soda, and you know, you can go to your bulk bin, like bin in bulk foods place, and get, you know, by the kilogram baking soda or whatever you need to do, and do that. person, like, and that's probably the cheapest way to know that it's completely natural. I'm not partial to the smell of vinegar though.
Yeah.
I really like a really nice aroma in my home in terms of that fresh, clean smell. So if I was doing DIY like that, I'd want to add like some essential oils in there. But if you do that, you just then need to make sure that it's not a cheapie from the supermarket or something in terms of an essential oil, because it's very, very likely an essential oil fragrance. And we've talked about fragrance. Yes. So you don't want to go to the, to the effort of making these DIY products and then adding an essential oil fragrance to that, because you're just kind of undoing all the goodness that you're doing. So that's one way. So you can DIY, and there's so many people, hundreds of people in the world do it and keep their homes real clean that way. The next sort of way, there's sort of two ways, like if you don't need the aroma, then there's the option of Norwex systems or Inyo systems. Yeah. Like I know lots of people that swear by their Norwex cloths or their Inyo products. And, like I use an Inyo mitt, scrubber thing for our bodies in the shower. And I've got Norwex cloths in the kitchen, and they're great, but I use them in conjunction with other cleaners and body products and stuff, because again, I like an aroma to go with it, as opposed to just using water and cloths. I kind of just don't feel like the house is fresh. You don't get that freshness, but you can use those. Sort of another alternative is there's heaps and heaps of little natural online stores that are coming up, and that sell their products in bulk food places or health food stores and those sorts of things. And often they make them in those lovely like 500 ml amber glass spray bottles and everything. And you need to check the ingredients. Just caution, make sure you read the ingredients to make sure they are using natural products, not using a fragrance to create the aroma in the cleaner. But that's where I started when I started looking for a cleaner, and I just found them really, really expensive. You're looking at like 20, like I remember getting 2 bottles on special, like it was like a 30% discount on special deal for 2. And I still think I paid $25 or $30 for 2 cleaners. And it's like, that's actually not sustainable for my budget. So I kind of struggled with that. And then it was like, well, then I've got these nice reusable glass bottles, but what am I going to do with them? I either have to DIY my cleaner to use those bottles again, or I'm going to buy more bottles already filled. So it would be worth, if you were going to go down that route, then I would look for someone that you can return your bottles to get refilled or something like that. So that you've also, doing those sustainable practices as well, so that you're not just ending up with a whole lot of glass spray bottles and not knowing what to do with them. So that's an option as well. And, supporting small business is awesome. I think small businesses, that's where you get beautiful service. It's the way to go in terms of, finding, lovely after sale service, and you help, someone's doing a little dance whenever you buy something from an online store, like that. So I do like to support those sorts of people, but again, it's got to fit your budget. So those are some options. What I do, I found Young Living. So Young Living have a full cleaning range, and they literally cover basically your entire home. And so for me, it was just super, super simple. Young Living have, they are a full disclosure company, and they don't use any synthetic chemicals. So I buy my products from them. They deliver them straight to my door. They're an online only store, and their products are super effective, super amazing to use. And they've just made the switch so easy for me. Yeah.
So they have like, stuff to spray your bench with and use in the shower and wash your dishes. So there's like a whole host of like.
There's a whole host. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. These amazing kits that you can get that are really budget friendly. And everything comes concentrated. So, you do get your amber spray bottle, your glass spray bottle, but then you just refill it, and it's my kind of DIY, my cleaner comes concentrated. I put, 1 cap in my bottle. I add some lemon essential oil and I fill it up with water.
Right. And then you're done.
I don't have to be doing some science experiment with baking soda and citric acid and this and that and the other. I'm not into that.
Yeah.
But, mixing the cleaner with some baking soda to make a Jif replacement, it takes literally it's a 30-second DIY for me to refill a cleaner or create a paste, and they last for ages and ages. So it's just super, super simple.
So
and
price wise, having that kind of bulk that you can then make into smaller works out, you know, really effective.
Well. Yeah. So an example, like the Thieves household cleaner, which is their concentrated cleaner, if you were just making a 500 ml spray bottle of spray and wipe, you'd get 42 bottles out of one concentrated bottle.
Wow.
So you're making it for $1 a bottle.
Wow.
The concentrate's $42 at wholesale price, and you can make 42 bottles of spray and wipe. Like, that's so cheap. Like even against, you know, your commercial spray and wipes or something like that, you're not paying $1 a bottle. Well, maybe on special or at the $2 shop or something.
Yeah, but what the heck's in it?
But what the heck's in it? This stuff is really, and it's amazing. Like, I haven't got anybody that hasn't used this stuff that hasn't gone, wow, this is amazing.
And so it's all natural, low tox. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, it's all natural. It's amazing. And it smells like Christmas.
Oh, that's nice. I like the smell of Christmas.
Clove and cinnamon and orange and lemon, like and eucalyptus. So it's just this amazing fresh aroma in your home. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. Yeah. Oh, I've definitely learnt a lot. Like, this has been great. I sort of was like, what am I going to learn? I know a bit, but you've up-leveled, and I'm sure you have for anyone who's watching. I don't think we've got any questions in the chat at the moment. I think you've just given us so much information that no one needs to ask.
Well, lucky we're recording these and we can send them out to
we'll be sending it out, because definitely I will be wanting to write things down as well from what you've said. I might also send out a bit of text around this as well, so people have got the information there.
Yeah.
So where do people, like, can you just explain, where people find you, if they want to work with you, what do you do? Just give us a
look, if they want to find me, it's super easy. I'm just hazelcoalter.com on that's my website, and you can learn more there and contact me there. Or
how do you spell your last name? Just to make sure.
Coalter. So not coal as in, coal as in the dirty stuff.
Right.
Coalter.
Okay, right.
So hazelcoalter.com, and you can contact me through there, or hello@hazelcoalter.com. You can just chat with me. I can send you, like, I've got real easy clickable links for education classes and those sorts of things.
Oh, cool.
For me, I want to serve people through education and help them to understand really simply how they can improve their wellness, because it's a lifestyle. But you don't have to be hippie wearing tie-dye clothes and not wash your hair and grow your armpits or something. You don't have to be like that to have a natural lifestyle. We are the most normal family of, 3 kids, mum and dad, go about our day, do all that sort of stuff. We are totally normal people. You wouldn't know that we're living a natural life, in terms of, it's not, we're not living off the grid or anything like that. But we do have sustainable values, and, we do want to, reduce our impact, our footprint on the earth. So using the Young Living products helps us do that, because they come so concentrated and everything's recyclable, and Young Living themselves have really good environmental practices. So, it ticks lots of boxes for us. And I'm happy to educate and help people find their way with low tox living, because it's not scary, it's not overwhelming when you just take it step by step.
Yeah, I think that's the key, and with anything, when you're making changes, it's just those small steps. But definitely when we send out the replay, we'll send out your links as well on how to find you, but also those ones that you mentioned. And and it's great what you're teaching your children. Your children are going to grow up with this mindset of, like, this is how I look after my body, this is how I look after the planet, it's just sort of, I think that kind of education is just such a gift, that you are passing on to future generations,
Thank you. And it is really cool, actually, to see the difference in the kids. My kids now, we use essential oils to support just their daily health, so, and I didn't know anything about that, but that's just been a progression of my learning and understanding, having started using, reducing the toxins in our home. And it's so empowering, Melissa, the kids have an upset tummy, and I'm just like, I pop an oil on their tummy and rub it around, and literally just like that, they're back to
feeling
sleep
better.
again, you know, that it's gone. It's just like, man, that's so much better than going, oh, am I going to put Panadol in there? Or
I would be like, oh, what do I use?
What do I do? What do I do? You know?
Yeah.
Those little aches and ailments, you know, like that you don't need a doctor for, you know, you don't need, you know, it actually just makes sense now for me.
Yeah, it's just a really nice alternative route to go down. You know, I find, definitely, like, I've got some essential oils, and I use it like that. Yeah, if the kids are like, oh, you know, my head's getting sore, I'm getting a cold, I'm like, oh, what can we create? You know, I get out my little book of my oils, and it just feels just so much more natural and holistic. And I mean, I'm not anti-medication or that. No. You know, if it gets to the point where it's like, okay, you need to get some good old drinks into you, I'll go for it. But I always try and go for that natural option, you know, or it might be around food as well, you know, like having some bone broth or whatever. Yeah, exactly. To help support them. So it's more of that holistic look at things, isn't it? Instead of just like shove that pill in your mouth and So
awesome. Yeah.
Have you got anything more to wrap up? Because we're going to do some quick fire questions.
Oh, yeah, quick fire questions.
I did a talk yesterday on low libido, and I actually stole some of your questions.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I did confess.
Just a bit of fun, you know.
These aren't mine. I've nicked them off someone else. Okay. So are you ready?
This wasn't my idea either.
Oh, okay. Oh, we're just stealing all over the place. That's
from everyone,
fine.
You know, it's a bit of fun. No, look,
honest with our
so cool to be here. It's been really awesome to just be able to share this and to help educate you, you know, and amongst that, it'll educate people that you connect with, just, you know, that are already thinking about decreasing the toxins in their food because they're already connected with you. So they're obviously following what you know, your education that you provide. And it's just another layer for them to go, well, actually, what's in my environment as well that might be impacting how I'm feeling. So
absolutely. I mean, and it will definitely, I think, you know, I will definitely bring that more into when I'm, you know, have got clients. I'm working with clients about, hey, look, I do a little bit, kind of around your xenoestrogens with your plastics, with hormones and all that kind of side of it. But I'll definitely, if we can get your links and share that out with people and keep the low tox happening. Okay, definitely. Right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So, what's your favorite book? If you were going to recommend a book to anyone and say you have to read this, what would you go for?
It would have to be This Little Life. It was a Booker Prize winner. Amazing. Amazing. Still sits with me years later.
They're great. Have you read it a couple of times?
No, just one time.
Just one?
I was so devastated when it ended.
It's like sometimes that with books, sometimes you're like, I'm not ready to let go. No, I'm going to have to check that one out. Okay, are you a wine or coffee girl? Or both?
Both, but preference is coffee. Coffee's appropriate at any time of day.
Okay, coffee. Are you in your room? What's on your bedside table?
Bedside table, let me think. I have got about 6 books that I haven't read. The charger for my watch. Actually, I think there's still some homemade birthday cards from my kids.
I thought you were going to say cake.
No, not cake. No food. And some rollers, essential oil rollers for support and aches and pains. Yep, that's what's on my bedside table. Yeah.
This is probably not the best question for you at the moment. Are you a cat or dog family?
We're a dog family, but our little guy passed away on the weekend. So we're a dog family, but we're very much missing our little woof in our lives. So
it's hard.
Yeah.
Okay, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you love to go? What would be your ideal country that you want to go to or have been at?
There's 2 places, Galapagos Islands and Antarctica. I can't choose.
Oh, wow. Have you been to both of them?
No, I haven't been to them. They're on my bucket list.
Oh, nice.
And I will get there one day.
Quite different environments going on there.
Nature-based though, you know?
Yeah, it's not like lying on a sun lounge or sipping a coffee.
No, I'm not really much of it. We've done those sorts of holidays. We're not much of sun lounger holidays, like sort of getting and seeing and experiencing different cultures and all that. Yeah.
They sound like great spots.
Yeah.
So are you a city or a country girl?
3 years ago, I would have said a city girl. I'm a country girl. I like my wide open spaces now.
Yeah. So you're living in the country?
Yeah,
The country
we're out on the lifestyle block in
nice.
but look, we've spent 17 years living in cities in Australia and London. So yeah.
It's a bit of a change then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to live somewhere. I think the wide open space is better.
Yeah, especially with kids. Yeah, I think it's great. Are you swimming in the ocean or hitting the snow kind of person?
I like both, but if I had to choose, I think the snow would win.
The snow? So it's snowboarding or skiing?
Yeah, snowboarding. Yeah, for me it's snowboarding.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Yeah.
Leggings or track pants?
Oh, leggings all the way.
Leggings?
Not even a question. I can leave the house in leggings. I cannot leave the house in trackies.
No, I might have to kind of argue you on that one. Depends where I'm going though.
Yeah.
If you're going to have an afternoon to yourself, so there's no work, there's no children, no partner, what would you be doing?
I reckon I'd be a cat. I'd find
a cat.
Yep. I'd find a sunny spot, warm drink, novel. That'd be me, just snuggled up in the sunshine. Yeah. Or in front of a fire. If there's no sunshine, put me in front of a fire. Yep.
Like that warmth.
Yep.
Oh, very nice. Oh, you've done very well. And listen, thank you so much just for sharing all your information and knowledge. I definitely have learned a lot, and I know those of you who are watching are going to be learning a lot and, trying to just find some little tweaks that you can start doing to start low toxing your home and your products you're using on your body or even inhaling. But also next week on the 14th at 12:15, it's going to be my turn. So Hazel will be
going to switch roles. It's going to be fun.
You'll be like the interviewer and I'll be the interviewee, and we're going to be getting more into foods and even if you may think you're eating healthy, some things that you may be ingesting that really aren't benefiting you, and providing you, with just some options, because we have definitely, like I mentioned, we have gone from the eating white bread, pasta, 2-minute noodles, muesli bars and chips in my kids' lunch boxes, and morphed into whole foods eating. So I've been on that journey of realizing, holy heck, what is all this crap in my food I didn't even realize, and what on earth am I meant to eat instead? So I can definitely empathize with what it feels like to be there, but almost like with you, you need to go there, but how the heck do you do it?
Yeah, so, that's right. I'm so looking forward to learning from you, Melissa. I'm almost actually a little bit scared.
Oh, no, don't be scared.
I might have to go into my pantry afterwards and go, oh my God.
No, I keep it all very low key, just like you, and just small steps. So so
that's awesome.
Thank you everyone for watching, and
thanks everyone.
We'll be seeing
thanks for having me. It's going to be awesome.
You are welcome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
That sounds great. See you later, everyone. Bye-bye.